What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I am Mexico. Location undisclosed. Really ain't that big of a deal. I ain't that important. But I'm in this shopping arena. Not even sure exactly where it is. But I think that the name of this city is Querétaro. I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on my Spanish. I'm gonna make it my priority to try to learn some Spanish, ladies and gentlemen. But I am in this modern area where the majority of what's happening is, seem like it's a lot of tourism, it's a lot of people shopping, it's a lot of people from here, a lot of people that's not from here, and people are out and about doing their thing. And it's funny being from here or being here and making this video because I want to talk to you guys about tariffs. Now, I haven't talked about it a lot on this channel, and some people reach out to me and they say, or they jump in my comments and they say, Anton, why haven't you been speaking on the state of the economy? How come you haven't been speaking on tariffs? Well, for a couple different reasons, but I'm gonna speak on it now, but for a couple different reasons. The first reason being that I wanted to focus all of my energies as far as investing on the bag chasers. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Bag chasers and Patreon members, we are definitely going to be capitalizing off of the market, and I plan on doing a live stream on Monday. So if you are not a part of the bag chasers, you're not a part of the Patreon members, do not come to me asking me how you can capitalize off of the market. You don't have to worry about sending me no emails. I'm already talking about it from a group perspective. So you'll be able to ask whatever questions that you want to ask. Oh, that looks good. All of the popcorn right there. You'll be able to ask whatever questions that you want to ask, and then we can go from there. The second reason why I haven't been focusing on it is because, or on this channel anyways, is because I've been spending all of my time talking about it on the Millionaire Morning Show. So if you are not subscribed to my other channel, the Millionaire Morning Show, then make sure you do so. But let's have a conversation really quickly about these tariffs that are now in place, and it is specific to each country. And I'm gonna break it down from you from a business perspective and very simply, and I don't want to speak too much about it again because we're going to talk about it on how to capitalize on it in the Patreon, but a lot of people, first of all, and I want to speak on this from different lenses, a lot of people, first of all, are so worried about tariffs and saying, oh my God, my costs are going to go up. It's pretty good. Banana. Look at Rita. No, we're not going to get no banana popcorn. I'm good. You always want something weird. A lot of people are talking about, oh my God, what is going to happen? Why are Americans going to be exploding as far as the cost of goods and services? You're largely not going to be affected by that. You know why? Because all you have to do to solve for this is buy American. It's that simple. You spend more time supporting the people that actually work in your country and generate the revenue so that you can live the life that you want to live. And when we get back to the core, and this is why it's Make America Great Again, when we get back to the core of what made us great in the first place, as far as investing in ourselves and keeping the dollars circulating within our communities, you don't have to worry about it. Contrary to popular belief, back in the 90s, when the Clinton administration and so many others, because I have a video, obviously, and I talked about it on the Millionaire Morning Show, where Nancy Pelosi did a video in 1996, 95, 96, saying exactly, she sounded just like Trump. Word for word, had the billboard, explained why it was important for us to have tariffs, but Democrats have become so left-leaning and so anti-Trump and so anti-American that now they think that it's conducive for us to protest against our own best interests. They're willing to sell us out and thinking that that costs us more money, when in reality, it's costing you jobs, it's costing you more money, it's costing you infrastructure, it's costing your children, it's costing your future, it's costing all of that, right? And if you bought American, which prices are already starting to come down. For example, Ford Motor Company is saying, listen, we are now giving A-plan papers, that's what we called it here in Detroit, we're now giving A-plan papers to people that actually are interested in American vehicles. Now, you know what I've seen in some of those comments? Obviously, it was some people like, yeah, you know, I love this, great. Prices coming down. I've seen Nissan saying that they are now lowering prices because they make vehicles here in the United States of America, and they employ the people that are going to be buying these vehicles. You know what some of the people I've seen in there saying? Oh, I don't like Ford. Fuck Ford and all of this stuff. Everything you do is anti-American. And I'm starting to think that a lot of y'all are ops. Like some of y'all may not even be traditionally from here. a lot of y'all, honestly, may be from other places, and the whole goal of you coming here in the first place was to extract the resources, send it back to where you came from, and then make that place great. And this is why you see a lot of these places. China was still in our proprietary technology for decades. In order to do business in China, think about this for a minute. In order to do business in China, you had to actually invest in China. You couldn't even just build a factory there and sell cars, let alone export over to China, which made it, obviously, it made it anti-competitive for American companies to be able to do business in China. And so what you had to do was you had to export, or you had to build factories over in China, and you could only own 50% of your factory or your business. So when General Motors and Ford and all of the American automakers went over to China and they started to try to do business, they forced them to build and partner with Chinese companies, which basically gave them the know-how and the proprietary technology, and they stole all of our proprietary technology to now be able to stand up and sell electric vehicles at a cheaper price because they use child labor, and obviously they subsidize their own automakers to make sure that they're successful around the world, right? So they forced us to partner with them. We never really made any profit over there. Then they stole our technology, and now they're trying to sell us cars cheaper so that they can basically become a better and more effective world power, which we gave them their power in the first place. Ain't it crazy? But guess what? It's a way to solve for this. You can lower your prices, you can help your economy, you can absolutely, positively be America first by buying American products. You remember that? I remember being from Detroit when if you drove a foreign vehicle, which I'm all open for options, but I want us as Americans to get the competitive advantage. I'm all open for capitalism, but I'm not for subsidizing other people outside of America and giving them American jobs. I remember that if you worked for any, Detroit 3 automaker, that you had to drive that car. And if you didn't drive that car, and this is when I was coming up in the 80s and the 90s, you couldn't even park in a parking lot, let alone park in the front or just find your own parking lot. That wasn't even a thing. You could not park in the parking lot if you worked for a place and then you bought a vehicle that was separate from either the place that you worked at or you didn't buy American. Now, we are thinking that foreign everything is always better. We don't love our own people. You don't love your own country. You don't love your own products. Instead of us focusing on how we can make America better, instead of focusing on how we can improve quality, instead of figuring out how we can make sure that everybody else have jobs, because y'all keep talking, listen, just a couple months ago, y'all was talking about y'all couldn't find no jobs or whatever. Instead of making sure that when you graduate out of high school, at minimum, you will have an American, because that's the thing that Democrats advocate for on a regular basis. Oh my God, make sure that we pay everybody a livable wage. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We spending more resources investing in our future so that our kids can benefit, because it's really about our children and the people that come after us. We spending more resources to ensure that our kids benefit, and that when they come out of high school, they can have decent paying jobs and be able to sustain a family, while at the same time, if you want to go to a major university in order to increase, the availability of or your skill set so that you can grow into a better job and become even more professional, you have the option to do so. We used to have so many options inside the United States of America. Now we don't have anything, we don't build anything, we don't grow anything, and we look to everybody else to fill our void. When we jumped off on World War I and World War II, we had to have the infrastructure to even be able to fight these battles, right? We used the access capacity of our plants to expand and then be able to build the tanks and the missiles and all of these things so that we can actually be competitive on a world landscape. But y'all want all of this imported steel and aluminum and stuff from other people. And again, I don't even think that y'all really against it. Y'all just hate Trump. But Democrats were saying the exact same thing that Trump and JD Vance and all of the logical Republicans, because there's extremes on both sides, they've been saying this for years. And I'm gonna come back to the original point that I was telling y'all in the first place. Buy American if you, and I'm not telling you you can't buy other stuff too. or you can't choose to do so, it's just gonna cost you a premium, and you're gonna have to be able to stunt a little bit differently. When you go over to Japan, and this is my last point, and I want to say this, when you go over to these places, they don't love us. They love our spending power. They love the fact that we come over there and we spend a whole bunch of money in order to try to be accepted. They love our vacation dollars. They love all of that. They don't care about us moving in their neighborhoods. You know why? Because if we moved into their neighborhoods, we would gentrify it and we would push them out of it because they wouldn't be able to afford to live there anymore. They don't mess with us in the way that y'all think that we do, that y'all think that we would really think. Think about it like this, fam. If you go over to Ukraine, if you go over to these places that y'all keep protesting and advocating for, they would absolutely pillage you because they don't even support the liberal policies and the ways that y'all live y'all life in the way that y'all think that they do. Just food for thought. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm interested in seeing what you got to say. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.